Hey, hello. Today we're talking about how to connect with friends and family over the holidays. So we are on a 12-month journey together, and in November we talked about awareness, and December is all about connection. We're connecting to ourselves, we're connecting in many ways to ourselves, and then we're also connecting to the world, and we're going to be talking today about connecting with your family and friends. Now, sometimes connecting with family and friends is very easy and very sweet, and sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes we have family members or friends that we remain connected with, but the experience of being with them is not always comfortable for us. So why even talk about it? Now, I actually was had a conversation last night with a client, and what he was expressing was the idea that therapy is really about looking at your problems, and coaching is really about finding solutions. So that's what we've been doing here. We want to understand about ourselves, and we want to come up with some kinds of solutions to make life more fun, easier, more deeply connected, and basically so that we have a sense of our time on this earth has value and meaning and purpose, and that at the end of our day we are satisfied with the kind of life we lived. And that only happens through becoming aware and living on purpose. Unless, I guess, maybe, I don't know if Mother Teresa, or there are some people that just naturally are born to be incredible saints, but even many of the saints had very difficult times coming to their sainthood. So let's just assume that all human beings have difficulties with people we love. We want love, we want connection, we need each other, and yet sometimes, I think about how I want the world to be a better place, and yet sometimes I can't even get along with members of my family. And so how can I expect the world to get along with differences of religions if I can't even figure out a way to be peaceful with someone that I love? So it is a challenge. So what we talked about in the last few weeks is connecting with yourself, and we did that through writing, looking at different kinds of meditation, cultivating kindness for ourselves, and looking at what we're grateful for, being aware of what we have and what we want of what we have, and also looking at our commitment. Are we committed to ourselves in the way that we commit to our children, to our partners, to our job? Do we give that kind of commitment to ourselves? And quite often we don't think about ourselves, or we come last. So making a commitment to yourself is one of the key things for creating a purposeful life. And then, what is your opinion of yourself? And if you do not have a good opinion of yourself, why? Can you find ways in which you do have a good opinion of yourself? And how important you will live from a place of having a good opinion. When you have a good opinion of another person, your relationship is so different than if you don't. So we're going to do a little bit more I was going to say examples, no, exercises. I'm going to give you a couple more exercises about writing. So we're going to be writing some more. So what I want to ask you is, what are your values? Are you aware of your values? Could you explain your values to another person? What do you want for your family life, for your work life, for your health and play? What are the things you value? There's a wonderful list of values that I can actually send you if you're interested. Put a note in the comments, and you can messenger me with your email address, and I will send you. It's a list from ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy, and they have a beautiful list of values and how you can look at what kind of values you are important to you, and it kind of really just helps you get started. So I'd love to send you that if you are interested in that. So what are your values? What are your values for family and for friendship? So the other exercise I want you to do is I want you to write, what kind of friend do you want to be? So quite often in these difficult or positive friendships, we kind of just go about it thinking, what are we going to get out of it? But what are we willing to give, and what kind of a friend do we want to be? Do you know that? Do you know what those values are that drives your how you want to behave as a friend? Also as a partner or as a spouse. I know I've had to many times look at that, because being married is, and I'm married to the most wonderful man, but I am not that easy to live with sometimes. And what I have to do is I have to look at what is my values for my relationship, and it is I want to be kind, I want to be generous, I want to be loyal, I want to be giving. I want to have fun, so these are values that I have. And am I behaving that way, or am I just waiting for someone else to behave that way towards me? So let's identify how we want to be friends. How do you want to be? What kind of a spouse do you want to be? What kind of a sister do you want to be? My brother's visiting with me, and I just love being with him. And I really want to be a sister who appreciates him and who shows love and has fun and silly, because he's a very funny guy and I love being around him. So what do I want to be for him, for in my life? How do I want to define my behaviors, how I want to be? So again, it's not always just looking for what it is I'm going to receive, but what is it that I want to give, and what can I give? And then the other thing is, what kind of a holiday do you want to have? I mean, we create, sometimes we go year after year doing the same things over and over again, but are you happy with the way the holiday is? Can you make some suggestions or changes to it amongst your family members, or even for yourself? Can you take time to create the kind of holiday that you want? If you wanted to have a spiritual bent, if you wanted to share gratitude with other people, how do you create the holiday that you want, so that you are creating your own traditions and you are absorbing the values that you want and living them? Because when you live from those values, you're going to feel connected and you're going to feel good. And then when disturbances come, when you interact with people that maybe it isn't as comfortable, you at least have a place to go to. You are rooted. So any of the work that I am offering you is to always start with doing the work yourself, connecting yourself, find your rootedness, so that as you go out into the world, you're not easily caught off balance, because you know who you are, you know what your values are, you know what's important to you. And so if someone says something, perhaps whereas before you might feel taken aback by or insulted by, you can actually check that against how is it that you want to be in the world, and how do you want to think about someone making that kind of a comment? Because really it's the way you respond is really just with how you think about the situation. What is it that you make it mean? And you can create the kind of interactions that may not be easy or comfortable, but at least you are sticking with your values because you know what they are. So I have this, so once you we're going to talk about the kind of friend you want to be, you're going to write about the kind of holiday. And I'm going to offer another kind of way to make this season like a one-off. Let's say we're going to try something really different. And this is a tool that coaches use, and it's called holding the space. So when I meet with a client, I come there with an empty mind, with an open heart, with lots of love, and I am working. I am not going to judge them. I'm going to give them the space to just be who they are, and then to kind of learn from what it is that they are. So let's say you take this holiday season and you're going to hold the space for yourself. You're going to know that you are going to lovingly respond to yourself. You're not going to judge yourself. You're going to create this kind of holding space where you can, almost like I sometimes see it like a life raft, where you are safe within yourself because you know you're not going to abandon yourself. You're not going to, let's say you're not going to overeat to hurt yourself. You're going to really give yourself and if you do overeat, you're not going to beat yourself up. You're going to give yourself the opportunity to really observe who you are in this holiday, how you're reacting to your friends and your family. You're going to hold the space for yourself in a loving way. And then you, at the end of the holidays, you can actually continue to write about what was that experience like for you to hold the space. What did you learn in these interactions, the difficult ones and the loving ones? And then the next exercise that I want to talk about is really taking the focus away from ourselves. So we do all this work to connect, to feel rooted, and really what we would then do is we kind of let it go, and we put ourselves with other people. I myself am going to a holiday luncheon today, and I'm going to look forward to having conversations, hearing about people, and so these are some of the little ideas I want to offer you as you go into the world after you've done the preparation for how you want to be in the world, the kind of holiday, the kind of friend, the kind of sister or brother you want to be. So one thing that doesn't happen as often, it's quite fascinating actually, is that we do not make eye contact, especially nowadays. Everybody is on the phone, everyone is moving quickly from place to place, but try making contact as you're having a conversation. Look that person in the eye, and then you will notice whether it's something you do or not, because it'll feel very different if you don't do it. And if it does feel a little bit uncomfortable, just take a breath and realize there's nothing that's going to happen to you, that you're safe, and that all you're doing is connecting with another person. And so see what that feels like, because when we connect with others, that connection can actually strengthen us and give us a better sense of being connected to the world. The other thing is to clear your mind of clutter. So as you go to your event, let go of the things that you are thinking about. Let go of the day, let go of the worry. Just try to kind of be present in a way where your mind is not chitter-chattering, so that when someone is talking with you, what you can actually do is really listen, and deep listening would be the next thing. So how often are you in a conversation and someone's talking and you're thinking about what you're going to say in response? You're going to kind of figure out how you can tell a story similar to that, and you're just kind of waiting for them to finish. Well, what about if you just listened? What if you didn't expect to respond, but you really just listened? So that's what I'd like you to do, is to try some deep listening, eye contact. And the other thing is you can ask a person what's important to them, what's their vision, what's their goals. Instead of saying, how's the weather, how are the kids? I mean, you say that as well, but what about asking, so what are your vision? What's your vision for next year? Or how do you see yourself growing? Like, what is it that really, what turns you on? What makes you, lights your spirit up? And see if you can have a different kind of connection. And then if they ask yourself about that, you can then offer your own sense of self. So once again, making a deep connection with people, taking advantage of the holidays and the time that people are having downtime, and being together and enjoying each other's company to the best of their ability. Another thing we can do is to volunteer. You know, lots of people volunteer during the holidays, and it's a good way to get out of yourself and to be connected. You can meet other volunteers if you volunteer to feed in communities where there's Christmas meals or dinners that you can participate in, or there's lots of toy drives that are going on. I know myself as a child, we relied upon those toy drives. I remember going to, I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was this big warehouse, and we would get to pick our toys because my mom didn't have enough to really buy the kinds of toys that we wanted. And so there's real value in providing for others who have less than you, and that sense of connection and community and giving is really can make your life more meaningful. The other thing I like is if you have maybe traditions in your family to watch a movie. We used to watch It's a Wonderful Life every year. I mean, I think I've seen it like 5 billion times, but you know, it is a tradition, and it has a really good good message in that movie. And sitting around watching it together with friends and family, you know, could be fun. Or maybe there's a young adult in the family and they want you to watch another kind of movie. Maybe they want you to watch Men in Black or The Heat, or some kind of comedy that maybe isn't Christmas related, but that gives them pleasure. And why not be open to watching something that someone else wants and spending that time together, learning more about that person. Quite often, sometimes we have our own ideas of what the holidays should be, but many generations have different ideas, and it would be fun and open to other people by taking a chance on maybe watching something else that you wouldn't normally do. And then the last little tip that I have is, I had a while ago, there was someone came into my family, and I had a lot of trouble with them, and I actually didn't even want to like them. I mean, I wanted to like them, but I just really had a hard time accepting them into my family. And someone suggested that I write all the things I want for myself in life. And once I did that, to offer that desire for that other person, so that I would then want all those things for that other person. And I'll tell you, it was amazing. First, it was amazing how the things that I wanted were so poignant for that person as well, and partly what I didn't want for them in my withholding my love and withholding my acceptance of them in the family. So create the desire that you have for yourself and offer that up to someone who you have difficulty relating to in your life, in your family. So I know that's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to write, but I just thought I would share them for you, with you for the holiday season. And there is a loving kindness meditation that I want to offer you, and it is may you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you find the healing you desire. May you find peace. May you find joy. So that's what I wish for you, and that's what I wish for you to offer to those in your life as well. So next week, we're going to talk about connecting with nature, and I'm really excited about that. So I hope you'll come back next week. And also, I'm putting the finishing touches on a new guide that I created called How to Change Your Past and Lose 40 Pounds. And once I have more information about that, I'll let you know. And in the meantime, if you want that values sheet, you can just put something in the comments, and I will get it to you by email. So happy holidays. Bye-bye.